Would you ever review your salary to your colleagues?
And what do you do if you realize you're underpaid?
Yikes! Let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Kai Wen.
And I'm Sue-Ann.
And you're listening to Headstart On Record. Join us as we figure adulting out so you don't have to do it alone. We have with us today Sharon Salim, who is our manpower correspondent at the ST Business Desk. Welcome to the show, Sharon.
Yay, thanks for having me here.
Okay, guys, let's jump straight into it and talk about the hot thing that's been online now, which is the Reddit thread that shows people's salary, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys saw it already?
Yeah.
Yes,
very
of course.
juicy.
The whole of
Right.
Singapore is on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Just shout out, it's r/Singapore payslips.
Oh, wow. Shout out.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's quite interesting because the Reddit thread actually they have anonymous users who post their salary slips, I think. And then they actually leave out their names, obviously, for privacy reasons. Would it be useful for you to go on the websites like this?
I know. So actually, it made me feel kind of pissed off, right? Because you see
How
all
so?
the 300k, like, oh, I'm earning 300k a year and I'm 29.
Yes.
And you're like,
yes,
wait,
yes.
wait a minute. And then there's another guy who's like, oh no, I earn 500k and I'm also in my 20s. But then I'm like, okay, so where are the I earn 5k a month people? Where are the I earn below
Where are my reality
100k?
bros? Where are my reality friends, right?
Like, I earn below 100k a year people. Where are those salary slips? How come I don't see it, right?
Sharon, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. So I thought I think it shows the extremes, right?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
the higher earners. Then maybe there's maybe they feel like they're at the bottom and they feel like they need to say out and share their misery with others.
Yeah.
The kind of complaining kinds, right? Like,
Correct.
why do I earn 2.4k a month? You
And
know?
I think it also brought out the bigger conversation around can you actually share your salaries online?
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
anonymous lah, in that
It's
sense.
anonymous, but then actually there were some comments I was reading. They were asking is it illegal in Singapore to actually share your salaries publicly? Yeah, that's what we're gonna.
And definitely that's our
talk
topic
about.
for today,
Yes.
right? Which is salary
Like,
transparency.
can you and should you?
Yes, can you, should you, and how to navigate that conversation.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think the bigger question is, would you then share your salary with your colleagues in the office?
Okay, you know what? If I'm asked point blank, I would. Because I would assume they have a good
okay.
reason to know.
Yep.
Either because they're trying to benchmark themselves and to see whether they actually need to ask for more pay, or maybe because they want to leave and they want to look at how, if maybe they feel like, oh, I'm underpaid, then I should leave. So I think if you ask me privately, maybe I'll share.
Privately,
I'm
as in
not
one
saying
to
I
one
will,
at the water
Kai Wen.
cooler, that kind.
Yeah,
Is it?
maybe.
Okay, so then later I talk to you after this. Sharon, how about you?
Wow. Okay. Maybe I share my own experience. I think in the past when I was younger, I used to be super insecure about sharing people about my salary.
Insecure. Okay, so because you
Even-
feel like people judge you.
Yeah, so I don't talk to my colleagues obviously, but then I
Yeah.
talk to maybe with friends. Because I think maybe because some of my friends are in other sectors that maybe they earn more. And then they will openly share this company, I have got 3 to 6 months bonus, that kind.
Wow.
But for me, it's I feel so insecure. Oh my God, I don't even
okay.
have a month.
Okay, wait, so they don't share their salary, they say how many months bonus
Sometimes
get.
they maybe like to share more about their
Interesting,
bonuses because they
interesting.
think that maybe salary a bit sensitive.
That's quite smart, sharing your bonus instead of your salary.
Yeah, okay,
Don't you
that's
think so?
interesting.
As I grow older, I find there's value in actually sharing your salary with your friends. Because then it can act as a bit of a benchmarking. So after talking to some friends, after a few years of experience, I realized that maybe for instance, I can be slightly underpaid for instance. So I thought it's good benchmarking. So I kind
Definitely,
of can know where am I in the market rate, range and all that. Yeah, as I go older yeah, correct. lah.
And speaking of benchmarking, ST released their annual salary guide, right? And that has also been a topic on the forums and on Reddit, as we know. So I think in the salary guide, you can input your age and your exact salary and the industry you're in, and they will tell you among your peers in the same age range.
Similar age group,
Similar
right?
age
Yeah.
group, that's what they call it. Where are you in terms of your salary? And I honestly think it's quite,
Interesting?
it's quite interesting, but also almost like a personal attack, right? At some point.
Depends on what's your score, lah.
Yeah, you can either feel really
if you're damn
good.
good, they're like, oh man, look at me. I'm top 10% sure.
Yeah.
But people like me who went up and then, I'm bottom 50 something, then I'm like, what
the
am I doing in my
transparency
life?
is revealing.
Exactly. And the page actually does tell you what are the highest earning jobs in Singapore. And actually they also review some information in what jobs do men earn more than women and what jobs do women earn more than men.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, you can go check it out. So just to share about my experience, I feel so I used to be an MOE teacher. We used to be MOE. And I think in MOE, there is a sense of how should I say? I mean, it doesn't apply to everybody, but I would say generally people do trust that they are paid fairly.
Okay.
So I would say conversations about salary is not that prevalent in back then when I was in the ministry lah, because everybody trusts that they're paid fairly, so nobody do question.
Really?
Yeah. Which and I don't know, maybe it's just my staff room, but that's the vibe I get from the public sector lah. I'm not sure about
As
private
in the
sector.
salary bands are clear to you, right? Like everyone knows each
yes,
other's
yes,
pay
yes.
and all that.
So you don't have to talk about it because it's transparent enough that you know
I
salary
guess you
range.
can kind of guess, yeah. And
Yeah,
if let's say the person takes up like HOD ship, then you know for sure that
It's
person
that range lah.
could
Okay.
be very likely be earning a 5-digit
Wow,
salary.
okay.
Yeah. So you can kind of like know. And I guess because there's so many people in the industry, so because on average information gets out there and it kind of gets common lah. It's common knowledge lah, I feel.
But that's quite crazy and also transparent, right? In the sense that like
Yeah.
you look at somebody and you know immediately what grade this person is and have a sense of how much they are earning.
Yeah.
And if they deserve
And if
how much
they
they
deserve
earning.
it.
So I used to think like, okay, within colleagues, you must be more transparent, then we can benchmark ourselves, right?
Yeah.
But then after I've experienced the other side where there's more salary transparency, like what Kai Wen say, like maybe, you know, some companies, they know the salary bands. I felt like, wow, it's it can be a bit unhealthy lah, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because of the comparison?
Yes, because
I
it's
see.
like then I tend to compare so much with, for instance, like with people who are maybe of similar age. Then you feel like I consider you, for instance, as a peer, maybe
yes,
similar
yes.
age, similar like output.
Yes.
Then you feel like if I know that you're earning possibly lah, like you know,
Yeah.
you see the salary band like you're earning maybe like $2,000 more than me.
Wow.
So if my boss tell me like, hey, can you go down to can you work OT? I'm like, no lah. Maybe you ask this person lah.
Yeah,
She earns
yeah.
$2,000 more than me.
Yes. And I think
Well,
that's something
that's
that
super
we will talk
true.
about even more later on as we flesh out. So Sharon, actually I want to ask you, why do you think companies do not publish like their range guide?
I guess they also don't want to create that kind of
Tension?
too competitive spirit, which is what I mentioned
Yeah,
just
agree.
now.
Yeah.
I think being too opaque and too transparent can
Yeah.
be really, like, I think both sides give you different kind of anxiety.
When it's extreme, right?
Yeah, it's
Too
true.
transparent, not transparent at all.
yeah,
They
and
have
maybe
their own sets of
because
problems.
bosses, maybe they don't
Yeah.
want you to pit against each other too much, you know?
Yeah, because like you said, then you will just say, okay, I'm not working. I'm not paying enough, so I'm not going to work.
Correct,
Right.
because if your
Yeah.
salary bands are so transparent, and then like I can look at two of you, and then for
Yeah.
example both of you are from band ones, and then I literally see that range on top of your heads, that kind of thing. I mean, it's like because it's so transparent, ma.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Sims,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You walk around the office and it's like,
Sims.
wow, 10K,
See, like,
12K,
diamonds.
2K.
Yeah.
Correct, and then it's also maybe if you know how much like other people are earning in the company, it also kind of will affect work dynamics in a way like you also kind of know how your boss looks at you. You know, for instance, like if I know that I'm paid lesser than you,
Yeah.
whom I consider a peer lah, for instance, then I kind of know that my boss appreciates you more
Wow.
than me.
Like your
That's
boss
actually
values
true,
this person's work more than yours.
Wow.
Then it will
Wow, that's a dangerous slippery slope because you are also attaching your own value to money.
But it's true. Okay, I mean, sorry, we are in a realistic world.
Realistic world.
As a worker,
Yeah.
yes, there's like the passion part of the job and all that. We love our
Yeah,
jobs,
yeah.
right?
No. For
But
sure, for
we
sure.
work to
Yeah.
get paid, ma.
Yes.
It's so true.
For
Yeah,
sure,
Yeah. So in a way, how
For
we
sure.
see how our bosses value us is through our bonuses and salary.
Yeah.
Like, sad to say, but
Oh man.
yeah. So in a way, then
This is
it
a
will also
downer. And I guess
Yeah.
even publicly, there's a bigger problem, right? Because if there's competitiveness within the same industry, right? For
I
example, I,
guess
learned
so.
that,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
other company in the same industry as mine, you know, the people are paid like this kind of age range and it's so much more. Then you will want to jump ship lah, right? So for the company itself, that's probably why
Yeah,
they say, oh, we
correct.
keep it confidential.
Yeah, so I guess within colleagues now, like, don't ask lah.
That's your advice, Don't ask.
I also don't want to know. Don't tell me your pay.
Okay, so in the same vein, do you all think that by making salary sharing a taboo, which is what some companies are
Yeah.
encouraging, does it give employers power over their employees though?
Yes, actually.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, maybe I come from the opposite perspective as Sharon, right?
Okay.
Maybe like
Okay.
as someone who has like worked in the same company all the time. And so all I know is like, is this.
Okay.
And I would say I don't know my colleagues' bands
Yeah.
and I don't know their salary ranges
Yep.
either. I only know their title, but sometimes the title doesn't correspond
Yeah, it
directly
doesn't.
to the bands, right?
Yeah.
Or the grades. So that's something that we all know. And I don't think we talk that much about salary either. Like we just look at our own output, which is like the bylines and the work you do.
Yep.
So, you know, for me, I think if a company does like publish more about like the salary bands and what you need, like Sharon said, to get to each band and the range of pay. Like maybe that's a good thing, but that's again in an ideal world where like human nature doesn't exist, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's no competitive
Yeah, when like
spirit
you just
at
know
all.
and you're like, oh, you earn
No
so much, I'm
judgment,
so happy for you. Like, good for you.
Ee, pui.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe it becomes like a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah,
Like transparency is good, but
Yeah.
also there's the dark side of
Yeah.
human judgment.
Yeah. I mean, but you see, with the fact that companies make it a rule that you guys cannot share, or we discourage from sharing, then I guess that takes away some kind of negotiation power also
Or
from
agency,
the employers
right?
or agency. Yeah. So like you said, like I'm in an enclosed world where I only know my own salary, my own output, and then also like in Sharon's point of view, also like what is my next rung, right? Like how do I improve?
Yeah.
If let's say you're an appraiser with your boss, and you genuinely feel that whatever you're doing this year really, really deserves more pay, would
Okay.
you ask in that appraisal itself for more pay?
Ask like, why am I not getting more?
No,
is
ask for more. Would you say,
Ask for
is it
more.
okay if I get more? What do you think?
Is it okay?
I think I have said, oh, I think I've done this year.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'm wondering why I'm still not like moving up to the next round.
Thankfully
so
lah,
I
of
have
course,
asked that,
thankfully,
but I
right?
obviously did not say like, hey, by the way, my colleague is being paid this much. How come
Of
we're
course,
doing
of
the same
course,
work and
of
yet,
course, of
you know,
course. Yeah,
although
yeah.
maybe
You
you
didn't say
think
that.
No, I think that'll be distasteful also.
yeah,
in
right.
a sense,
and it's not very professional to
yes,
say
it's
that.
not professional.
Although you might probably think that sometimes.
I think we all think that sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting. Let's talk more
Yeah.
about how salary transparency actually strains your relationships between
Yes,
colleagues.
okay.
Yes,
Because I think that's a spicy
scary.
one.
Yeah, that's definitely the con, right? Of yeah.
So have you had a
Knowing too
scenario
much.
where you know how much somebody paid and then you say, oh my god, that person obviously doesn't deserve to be paid more than me?
Like how dare they go home at 6 p.m.
Confirm have lah. I'm sure you all have also
yeah,
lah.
actually I
So
also have.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure
same.
you all have. So again, that goes back to the not so good part of being so transparent, right? Because again, I mean, you all are friends. You all work hard together. You know, in
Yeah.
a team, we always talk about like, let's collaborate. We want to push this out together. But once you put that kind of like benchmarking
Yeah.
into the projects, right? Then it becomes a bit like, why am I doing more work than you when I know that you're paid more?
That's quite discouraging, actually.
Yeah, it's actually very like, and to
It
be
is.
honest, the reason why I don't want to share with colleagues is also because like I don't want my day-to-day to be tied to that, you know. I just want a peace-free,
Peaceful.
just peaceful,
Yeah.
Peaceful conflict
Peace-free
free.
different, peace-free.
environment to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
don't want that kind of conflict, like especially if you all are friends and you all are like, you know, doing
No, I
well
understand.
at
It becomes
work
very
together.
political in a sense.
Yeah, especially when it comes to promotions, right?
Yes,
then
yes,
if
yes.
there's like too much
Yes.
transparency with promotion, for example, I know
Yes.
exactly who is up for promotion and I know
Yeah.
only one person can get it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, wow, that would be
Yeah,
scary.
and then after it's not me, and I'm like, wow, how dare this person?
How ah?
And we're talking about a livelihood here, you know. So it's like it's
Right,
more than just
yeah.
money. It's more than just salary. You're talking about, you know, how do I get money to fund whatever I have at home?
Yeah,
you know, is it like my
correct.
renovation, my
Yeah.
wedding,
It's
my
very sensitive
baby?
lah.
You know, yeah, it becomes very emotional, sensitive,
Yeah.
political.
It's like, oh, I
Yeah,
need
yeah.
this BTO, you know, so I actually need this
Yeah.
money, and yet this guy
Yes,
gets
yes.
promoted.
Yeah,
Were you in
yeah.
situations before when, for example, you're up for promotion and you knew exactly who else was up for promotion? And then how do you navigate? Because that situation is even more emotional, right? Because you know that there's quite a lot at stake, especially if it's a big jump. Because I have heard of certain cases where, for example, somebody gets promoted.
Okay.
And then the other people say, hey, but this person didn't deserve it. And then they
Oh.
kind of like band together and even complain, you know, to say like, oh, why
Yeah,
did this person even
I
get
have
promoted?
definitely
right?
heard of that
I'm,
before.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely sure people do
Yes,
that.
yes.
And that's terrible, right? It really like disintegrates that work
Wow,
environment.
it's terrible, but at the same time, it's human nature, lor.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly.
So I think it's both sides
Yeah.
lah. I think okay, you know, in offices people gossip, people talk to each other. When someone is out for promotion, if like out of them, maybe 4 to 5 people they're supposed to get promoted, then you are the only chosen one that get promoted lah. Then you know the rest, and then maybe the company is more transparent. Again, both sides. If you are not
Yeah.
the one and you are banking like I want to get that 2,000 more this year, and then I did not get that. I think you can feel a bit like, yeah, again, discouraged lor. Then you feel like, why? But then if you are also on that, maybe you are the one, like Kai Wen, you're the only one that got the top. Then also a bit like, wow, I don't want to share to everyone
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's a bit of like privacy also.
Yeah, it's
Right.
like, you know, because it
Yeah.
will confirm
Yes,
impact
yes.
how you all look at each other.
Yes.
These 5 people.
I tell you, if I know Sharon is the top promotee or like the only promotee in this year, FY.
Then you'll complain, right?
You know what
maybe?
happened? Sharon, you want to treat me lunch or not? Sharon, can I get a ride from your new car back home or not? And I guess it bleeds into your personal life and your personal relationships among your colleagues.
Correct lah. It becomes
Yeah.
personal
So that's
ma.
privacy lah.
Yeah,
right?
so even if you're in the top few, people always think maybe you're the bottom few, then you like, then you feel super affected.
Yeah.
But actually, right, it also affects the person that
Who got it?
who got promoted. Okay, unless you're very shameless.
I think what Sharon shared just now, which was also a good strategy also, is to really, I guess, because in the workplace, things can get very sensitive very quickly, very personal very quickly. So seeking external information from websites, even from forums or even from Reddit threads, honestly, or Glassdoor. I think Glassdoor also they will share.
Yeah, Glassdoor.
Right?
Yeah.
Some salary range somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I've even heard my friends or my friends did tell me, they say if you really want to know your market rate, go outside and go for job interviews. But not with the intention of switching jobs.
Yeah.
See
I
how
heard
much
that
they are willing to
also.
pay you.
Correct. See how much they're willing to pay you, and then they can compare back. And then some even say like once you get the offer, you can actually come back and ask for more. Which I don't know, I have not tried.
Wow. Okay.
So I wanted to ask about that also, right? So
Can you
you've
do
heard of
that?
people doing that?
Yes.
Like when
yes,
people,
yeah.
right, they actually go to their bosses and then they will say, hey, I went for this job interview and they offered me 20% more that I'm currently
Oh my
paid.
goodness.
Can you bump up my salary?
You match or I leave.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
people do threaten
Yeah. they do
Yeah.
Well,
happen.
does it work?
their
That's the question.
employers.
So I guess two-sided, right? If you ever do that, you'll be ready to burn that bridge lah.
Yeah.
With your company.
Like you're kind of exposing some colors there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, saying like I'm already looking, and then if you don't take
Yeah.
me, I will leave lah.
But I think it also depends, right? To be fair, maybe the person really wants to stay in the company still, but I guess this person is just wanting like that, like if you appreciate me as a worker, then I felt like I deserve more lah.
You're like, hey, why I can be appreciated this much outside and I've done all this work for you and
Yeah.
you're not giving me my worth.
Yeah.
So you're kind of saying that
Yeah.
I see myself as worth, for example, 5K, but you are only giving me 4. So why is it you're not valuing my work as
and
much?
other people value
and other
me
people
more than
do,
you lah.
yeah.
I guess.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
But everything just feels very emotional. Like there's so much emotions tied to like salary, how much you know,
Yeah.
how much you don't
Yeah.
know.
But have you ever heard of this water bottle theory where a bottle of mineral water can cost very differently at different places? So maybe like a bottle of mineral water can cost like $1 at a local pharmacy. And then at the international airport,
Yeah.
it can
it's true,
one
it's
mineral
true.
water
Yeah.
is like maybe $5.
That's
and
true.
if you really need it, you still pay that $5 lah.
That's true. Like at the airport when you're thirsty, you got no choice,
Something
right?
like that. So in a way, like I don't know,
That's
it's like a bit of
true.
like an analogy of like how the same
Yeah.
skill set, can be valued
Yeah.
differently in different organizations. lah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and maybe there's also something to be said about not tying your worth so much to your salary, lah, right? And not being like, oh, just because I'm paid less than other people, that means I'm like worthless
That is so hard to
or
do.
useless, right?
That is so hard to do.
Because like the
Honestly.
water bottle, the
Somewhere.
water is always important.
Find the airport. As a
Work
bottle,
at the
find your
airport,
airport. No, I mean the discussion about tying your worth to your salary, and I think it's something that I struggle with personally because
Yep.
sometimes I do ask myself like, hey, my friends who are like doctors lawyers they're earning so much more than me. Like what am I doing with my life? I'm earning like easily half to 2/3 of what they're earning. And I do ask myself does it mean that I'm worth any less? Because I know it's human nature to compare and then find out that but what they're going through, the life that they're living, the hours that they're putting in, the weekends that they sacrifice, is it really what you want lah? So again, it's like emotions and money. How do we separate?
It's
Yeah,
a mess.
it can
I
be a
think
mess,
maybe
yeah.
the salary transparency has to come with transparency in other things. Like you said, I know that maybe this person earns this much, but this person does this much, and sometimes you don't see it from your point of view, right?
Yeah,
Until
correct,
you
correct.
really maybe understand from a certain position in the company how much exactly somebody does. Because from your point of view, it's so easy to judge. Come in so late, leave so early.
You don't know why the person come in late also, right? Maybe like baby
Exactly.
crying. Oh, need to change diaper, you also don't know, right?
Yeah, so maybe it's
Yeah.
like, maybe we can never have full salary transparency because we are not transparent enough human beings in general.
No, like in a perfect world, everybody shares information perfectly.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and of course, we're not perfect lah. It's
Yeah.
not a perfect world.
I guess
we're
you
not
can
perfect.
balance it out lah. The bosses, I guess, can be transparent with you, but it may not need to go to the extent of like
Like you know exactly how much.
everyone knows how much you're earning.
So my question is, will an employee get into trouble if they share their salary? Like for example, if Kai Wen told me his and then I told him mine,
Yeah.
will we get into trouble? Or is there any law in Singapore that says you cannot do that?
Okay, so for this one, I actually spoke to an employment lawyer. Like his name is Kelvin Shi from Covenant Chambers. He was saying that actually generally, an employment contract, if there's an express clause saying that your salary information is confidential, then I guess it can be confidential lah.
Yeah.
But generally, I think anecdotally, companies do not enforce this. Because to be honest, right, do you also want to be that kind of boss or employer who wants to be known as the guy who sues an employee for disclosing their salary or not? I mean, you will look quite not
It's
so
quite
good
bad, lah, bad
lah.
optics lah for the company.
In a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in a way, I think he was saying that we also cannot rule out the possibility of a boss suing an employee
Huh.
for
Wow,
that. So
okay.
because there's no clear
Yeah.
pronouncement on
Yeah.
this law by the local courts, but we will never know lah. But then going back to your question, like can an employee get into trouble?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a grey area.
Yeah, but there was also a very big question on the Reddit, right? Like there were so many questions asking, is it illegal for you to literally just post your IRAS? You know,
Yeah.
even if you
Correct.
anonymize
Yeah.
yourself, but you
Yeah.
say that, oh, I'm a teacher, I'm how old, and this is how much I'm earning.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not that hard to find, right?
Yeah, so it's not, I think it's a grey area, but do you want to be known as that, I guess, troublemaker?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess
So-
you will get into some kind of trouble.
You may get into
Sorry,
some kind
you
of trouble.
may.
If it gets
Yeah.
out lah.
Yeah, and do you want to put yourself in that kind of situation lah?
Are there, certain guidelines that say, oh, employers need to reveal this much to their employees? Like this much salary transparency should be a thing, even if it's not required.
Okay, maybe not say best practices. Okay, so Kelvin was sharing about like how, I mean, there are some good bosses around who, for instance, like they can also tell you, for instance, okay, Kai Wen, I feel like maybe you deserve more or
Okay.
something like that. So then maybe not only next steps, but maybe you can say, okay, for me, I think personally, I have had an ex-boss who told me personally that, okay, Sharon, I think you deserve more. So maybe it's time for you to maybe find another employer.
Okay, but
okay.
that's as an ex-boss lah. Right?
Yeah.
She has left already.
It's kind of like looking out for you.
Yes,
more as a
she's
friend.
looking out for me. It's a bit
Yeah.
like, this ex-boss is, I
That's
consider
very
her
nice.
as like a mentor in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
industry.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Sharon, if let's say I find out that I'm being paid less than someone I consider as like my peer, right? Is it okay if I go to HR and ask for more?
The short answer, according to Kelvin, is can lah, why not? Yeah, can. But personally, personally, I wouldn't go straight to HR lah. I will go straight to my boss first. Because I mean, your bosses are the people who really know your work, right? Like, I mean, they see your day to day, the kind of work you
And
do.
HR is overstepping lah in a sense, right?
In a way, I would be a bit worried of jumping straight to HR lah. Because honestly, then HR will also have to go back to your boss and like, hey,
And then they will find out.
Yeah, correct. And then they will be like, hey, this so and so person complain about this.
Wow, you burn all your bridges.
Damn, yeah,
straight
I
away.
think
You
let's
don't
not
want to do
let's
that
not
lah. So I will go to my boss first lah.
Yeah. When I'm applying for a new job, can my new employer ask me for my current salary?
Okay, this is a mistake that I think I always make.
Ooh.
I feel like, okay, so I didn't know, okay, maybe like in my past, like, I mean, when I was younger, I
Yeah.
always share, always.
Even without them asking you?
No lah, of course lah.
So they ask you,
must
then you
ask
share
first
lah. Yeah,
But
yeah.
technically, you can don't share lah, which I have learned over the
Okay,
years.
yeah.
I mean,
I did not know that.
I did not know.
I didn't know.
Until this point, I still do not know. Wait, please tell me
correct.
more.
No, so actually, you're not obliged to share lah. I mean, you
see.
can say like maybe you're not comfortable in sharing.
But if you don't give, will there be less chance of them hiring you? Like, will it reflect badly on
Yeah,
your
so that's
application?
correct.
You
So
know
that's
I
what
mean?
I always thought, which
Yeah.
is that, then I cannot
You're
get hired.
risking it,
How?
yeah.
To be
and-
honest, I think we'll never.
But I
say.
think if like,
Right.
and especially if you're asking for a certain salary and it's quite high, how are you going to justify that if you don't
Yeah.
give your previous drawn salary?
No, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I know that some forms will put expected salary, like what you expect from us. You know, so I'm not sure if that's also. I guess then it's fair that your last drawn is maybe.
Yeah, so the assumption is that you're asking to match.
Yes, you're asking to match, or it should be in the ballpark of your previous drawn lah.
yeah.
Cannot be you go drawing 3K, then you're asking for 10K lah, right? Maybe that's a way of companies protecting
Yeah. So, but
themselves.
what is a good increment? A good
Oh, that's a good question.
thing to. No, because
That's a
again,
good
right?
question.
If I'm not telling
That's a
you
good
my
question.
last pay slip,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you that my expected salary is an XX amount.
Yeah.
And then what is considered decent? So again, I
Yeah,
have had
yeah.
conversations with my
Yeah.
friends about this. As in, like,
Interesting.
what is decent? Some people say you need at least 20%. Then some people will say, like, I don't know, I've heard people telling me that they actually share that they expect like at least a 50%. Yeah, I'll be like, wow,
50?
50%?
super high.
50%.
I
Wow.
mean, I think
Okay,
there are some
okay.
companies who actually give quite a high amount lah, right? Yeah, but again, what is decent?
Wow.
And how do you
okay.
negotiate that with your new employer?
Yeah,
like what is
yeah.
considered
Yeah.
decent? And you also don't want them to run away,
Yeah.
right? You don't want
Maybe
them
that's
to
where
think
the
like,
transparency is good. Like if you speak to people within a company already, like if you have a friend inside, then you ask
that's
them, oh, how much is it? And
Yeah.
then maybe you make sure you benchmark it without being like so over the top, right?
Actually that's a good way.
Yeah.
Like you have a spy on the inside,
Yeah.
already, you know? So like
Yeah.
matching companies' expectations, and then hopefully it's higher than my current pay lah, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like we do want to be treated fairly. And I think that's the basis of the entire episode.
Yeah.
Why we ask for information is because what we want to do with the information is make sure that we are paid fairly.
Exactly,
Right?
yeah.
And I think demanding for salary transparency, asking people for their salaries is one way to just do it, like one avenue only. I think that there might be other avenues to seek for salary fairness.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess one way is to do your own research. You know, like going online, like we said, go to Glassdoor. What Sharon mentioned, go to similar sectors, right? You ask what's the ballpark lah, so that you know there's a benchmark. And I guess you have to feel like if you feel that you are underpaid or you deserve a promotion, then you justify it with your boss, with your supervisors, not HR straight away. Yeah, but just in that sense, you know,
Yeah.
have a talk and understand what is your rights lah. Yeah, so I don't think we should all be just keep quiet and just suffer.
But I guess you justify it with the work you do rather than
Yes, definitely.
salary, right? Rather than the fact that, oh, this guy is paid more than me. But
Yeah.
it's like, oh, I am doing this amount of work.
Yes.
I think a good advice I've heard from someone is like, you know, last time when you were younger also, you never think so much about documenting your day-to-day milestones.
Okay, yeah.
So someone tell me that actually it's always like 1 month before appraisal. Then you're like, wow, what did
Oh
I
my
do
God.
past
yeah,
year?
yeah. That's also
Then you
me.
literally
Oh,
have
man,
to
I
like,
feel
okay, the
exposed.
past 1 year, I need to write out like 1,000 word,
Yeah.
like to upsell myself, that kind
Yeah.
of thing,
Yeah.
which is like very difficult. So
Yeah.
I think a tip that I thought was good is,
Yes.
again, not talking about just thinking about your salary, but it's more of like, maybe you can do it like monthly. So this month, what are the bigger things that you have achieved? So you put it down into your Google Doc lah. So that at the end of the year, it's not going to be like a
Easier for you to argue your case also, right?
correct. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's easier to see exactly like
Mm.
what has and what you have done lah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very good way to say that, oh, I'm worth this much. I'm worth more
Yeah.
than what I'm being paid, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So then you have any tips for us? How do you like make sure that you are
Wow.
treated fairly, paid fairly?
I mean, to be honest, that's where honestly knowing some of your colleagues' pay probably is a good thing.
Yeah.
In the sense that you know where to benchmark yourself. But I think you also do have to, of course, although it's very difficult, right? To step back and take the emotion out of it in a sense that like, okay, this person is this age and they've how much work experience, how many years of work experience, and they're paid this much, rather than be like, hey, how come they only do this number of stories? How come I do so many? Because
that's
that kind of
true.
comparison at the end of the day is not productive.
Agree,
Yeah.
completely.
Right? Yeah,
agree.
it's just not fruitful
Agree.
at all, and it
Yeah.
only makes going to work upsetting for yourself,
Yeah.
and maybe for others if you start to show like, oh, you're not very happy. So it's like what's in your best interest, right? So sometimes in your best interest is like, okay, maybe I know this person's paid more than me, but maybe use it as something to encourage yourself in the
Yeah.
sense that, okay, maybe if I start to do this sort of work, if I raise like my game, then maybe I can jump that level rather than feeling, well, how come it's like that?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's easy to say but hard to do. And I think don't compare. Don't
Yeah,
compare, right? It's
definitely.
not comparing is something
It's
that
very
we
hard.
all strive to do because at the end we are all humans lah. But I think it's important to understand that as young people who are starting out or have been in your career for a while, I think there is value and merit in not focusing so much on how much you are paid and how fairly you are paid.
Yeah, like don't put your identity in that.
Yes, correct. Don't put your worth in that. I do feel, personally, I take the concept where if you are in somewhere where you are still learning, you know, as long as you're learning, you're building, you're growing, I think that's more important than any amount of money you can get.
Agree.
For the first
It's
few years in your
priceless,
career.
right?
Exactly, yeah.
So, I mean, if you're young and you're starting out, I think that's where you should be putting your mindset in. And I think
Building
money
your
will
portfolio
come.
lah.
Money will come naturally, hopefully. Hopefully, fingers
Naturally.
crossed. Every day
Fall
I'll
from
be
the sky.
praying. Yeah, fall from the sky.
Like work is so much more than just the
Correct,
money, right?
yeah. It's
So
more than
like
that.
even relationships with your colleagues, like those things can also be quite important and quite valuable. So.
Okay, Okay, and with that, that's all the time we have for this episode of Headstart On Record. Thank you, Sharon, for joining us on this episode. It's been such a pleasure. Once again, my name is Kai Wen.
And I'm Sue-Ann.
You can slide into our DMs on socials to suggest another topic you'd like to see us tackle on the show.
And you can also check out the ST salary guide to see how much you're being paid compared to your peers. And if you'd like to read my articles or ST's Headstart newsletter, all these links are in our podcast show notes.
This podcast episode is mixed and edited by Faiza Sani, Eden So, and Amirul Karim. Thanks for listening and see you next month.
Bye!